Hey everybody, it's Digger Rex. Welcome to part 2 of how to make a homemade Dilophosaurus out of cardboard. And at this point I have everything cut out. I even cut out this part here. This was really fun to cut out. All these little individual cuts which were made with my little cutter here. This looks pretty nice. I like it. These two things are going to be kind of like the last thing we do on the dino. So for this part, we're going to be putting the legs together, the hands together, and getting these jaws in place. Now, depending on how long this is, we'll maybe in part 3 put the top onto the Dilophosaur and hook it all together in part 3 and get it done. But if there's enough time, we'll do that here. Also, you'll need 4 of these little peg thingies. So first we're going to start with the feet, and you're going to need your hot glue for this. Also you're going to need some extra pieces of cardboard, so just do what you did with these and just put some paper over them. Alright, okay, so let's just move everything out of the way and we'll just work on the legs. Alright, so now that you got your legs set up here, I am going to do one of the legs with you, and then you can do the other leg by yourself. Alright, so make sure you have the feet with the letter H on them. Well, letter F. That doesn't look much like an F. So just make sure you have the, the F, so for feet, and H for hands, so keep those out of the way. So let's do what side is this? I don't know. We'll just do this side of the, we'll just do this leg first, and then we'll see how it fits on. Also, I forgot to cut out the little toe claw that hangs right at the back of the leg here. Don't know what that's called. So if you know what that little claw is called, tell me. I'm actually kind of interested. So that'll be a little cutout we'll cut and fit later when we add in a little more details. So this part's pretty easy. We're just going to take the foot, and I like this part. It's kind of like building. So you can kind of face the foot however you want to. You can put the H down, push the H up. I put the H down. So now what you want to do is you're going to line up the back of the foot with the front of the foot. And then what you can also do, let's see. Well, yeah, let's do it. So it's going to be a little short, but that's okay. So kind of like that. And this is a little small, so it's going to be kind of difficult to show this, but you want to put the hot glue right. Whew, had some extra little plastic hanging off, so just 1 minute. Okay. So you want to make sure you get the hot glue right on the bottom here, and then you're going to slap it down right there. And I'll show you what I mean right now. We're going to put a little hot glue right like that. And then you're going to take your foot, line it up with the back of the foot, slam it down just like so. Move it around so it doesn't get too stuck down there. Okay. And that's how you do that. And then you're going to do it with the other side. Like so. Okay. And you're going to slam it down, just like you did with the first foot. Line it up, put it down, like so, and move it around so it doesn't get too stuck on the table. Alright. Okay. It is kind of a little hard to work with this tiny little foot. I am happy I have tiny little hands. It helps with tiny little projects like this. Alright, at this point, you're going to want to glue the top frame here. Now I want to figure out which side I want this foot to go on. So let's see, this is going to be, I kind of misnumbered this because none of these numbers match up with the other right numbers. So let's make this the right side. So 1 minute, I take out a pencil and just make this an R. Okay, so this is going to be the right side. So now you're going to pour hot glue on the top here, and you're going to line it up like that, and then you're going to squeeze it together like so, and hopefully the foot will stand. And it's okay if there's a little hangover on the other side, because on this side is the side you're going to be seeing. So yeah, a little messed up, but not too bad. And then the foot should stand. If it doesn't stand, it will later. But Yeah, there's a lot of excess plastic hanging off, and it wasn't super well attached here, so we're going to have to fiddle around to get this perfectly attached. Like so. Okay. Alright, so that's pretty darn good. And then we can also use the hot glue gun for smoothing it out here. So you can smooth it out on the bottom. And hopefully the foot will stand. If it doesn't, it should once everything's put together. So, well, there we go. The foot stands. Yay! That's always a good thing to see. This fell over there, but it did stand, which is the good thing. Good thing. Very good. Alright, so now it's just filling in these gaps. And first thing you need to do is what I highly recommend doing. Something that I almost forgot to do here. You want to make sure these are nice as clean as possible. I'm just going to put the foot over here like that. There we go. So what you want to do is you're going to need to make, let's see, you're going to need to make 4 of these little bottom sections, just like that. So you're going to need to trace and make 4. I'll show you exactly what I mean here. You just want to trace the bottom of the foot like that. So make 4 of these for this foot, because these are going to slip in between the toes right here, and that's how we're going to build that. And then we're going to put the top piece here and then the back piece. Alright, so get those cut out and then we'll move on. Okay, so I got my little toe bits cut out here, and these are actually going to be very difficult because how small they are. So I'm going to try to do this the best I can on camera. So you want to make like a little long stick. You're just going to slide them in there, and you're going to do kind of the same thing what you do here and just slide it in there. So I'm going to put some hot glue down. Then I'm going to take what I have, slam it, get it right in there. That. You also want to make sure that the tips are nice and pointed. It helps when lining them up better. It doesn't want to stand right now, but that's okay. It should stand once we get everything put together here, so I'm not too concerned about it. It is really tiny, so it's really difficult to actually get this to work. What you can also do at this point is cut the excess off, and then you can just trim this to make it smooth out with the front piece here. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Something like that. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm going to do the other side here. There we go. Just something like that. Okay. There we go. And also there'll be more reviews coming on the Fallen Kingdom toys as well. So don't worry about that. There'll be more of those on the way. They're pretty. I love the toys. They're awesome. I'll mention it in the review. Alright. So here's a question. What's your favorite herbivore out of all the dinosaurs? Huh? That's quite a question, huh? Your favorite herbivore? Yeah? What is it, I wonder? Something like that. I bet you'll never guess which one's my favorite herbivore. Alright, so I'm going to trim this. Alright, so this was a little trickier. The middle toenails aren't very well done right now. It is a little more of a curve. I'm waiting for the hot glue to dry on that. but I do need to flatten out the top here. There's a lot of glue. And up right there. And then I can take my little scissors here and kind of trim get some shape on these toes here. There we go. A little more of a pinch there, but that can be done later. Alright, so let's get the back plate in. And you're going to need a pencil for this. We won't need this much of a piece, so I'm just going to cut it. And what we're going to do here, and we'll do it this way. And what you want to do at this point is kind of shape it a little bit. Because what you're going to do here is, see this gap? You're going to want to line it up with the bottom of the foot. And then push this in. Like so. And you want to kind of round the shape like this. And so I'm kind of just fiddling around with this to get shape I want. Okay, so something like that. Then you want to take your pencil and just trace the line. Like so. And then you just want to cut that out. And then you just want to kind of fiddle around with it right here. Alright, and then from this point, it's pretty easy. You just take the hot glue and pour it right here and fill it in. So you just want to start at the bottom and sloop it up. And then quickly put this on. Like so. Get this pegged right into that gap. Sorry, that was off camera a little bit. Just getting everything sealed up. Okay. Alright. So there we go. There's the back done. And then you just want to trim this up. And what I found out that works really well for this is if I do a cut with my scissors first. So if I kind of line it up here and I cut it. And then if I take my X-Acto knife, I can slip it right into that cut, and then I can just follow the cut with the X-Acto blade. And also make sure that you push this forward a little bit so you're cutting upwards, so you don't cut into your leg at all. That's a little tip there. Alright, so just clean that up, and you can trim this little flap. If you have a little extra flap here, you can just kind of smooth that in, which I'm going to do with some hot glue here. Alright, so let's do that. Alrighty, and now we just have the front to cover. And then you're just going to do the same thing, and we'll try to do a little better job. Well, I'm going to try to do a better job with it here. And let's see, I don't need all of this, so I'll just cut it. So, ooh, this is going to be a tight little foot. So that's going to slide right in there, but I think I'll be able to trace this a little better than the back. So I'm just going to line that up best I can here. Maybe I can kind of re-straighten the foot with this because I kind of curved it a little too much when I did that. So just do this. So, okay, I just want to cut it again. And also try to get it as accurate to where the line is as possible. Sometimes I cut a little past the line just to make sure, but you don't have to. You can cut a little past it just to make sure that you get a nice cover over it. So I'm just making sure how it fits before I glue it down. Okay, seems to work pretty nicely. And then I'm just going to take my glue stick again. And actually it is quite small here. I may not need all of this, so let's see. Yeah, I'm just going to actually seal it to here because it's small enough. And again, I'm going to trace the line and just make sure that I cut a... Okay, there we go. And now I'm going to slap this right down here. So I'm just going to fill this in with some hot glue. Then I'm going to pop this right on in, like so. And there we go. That was easy. And now we just have to trim up the feet here. Okay. Next. Boom. Boom. Okay, so pretty much at this point, kind of the front's kind of all like, but that's easy cleaned up and I can trim that up. But that's pretty much the foot. So I'm not going to show all me cleaning it up and stuff just because that's a lot of time. But that's pretty much the Dilophosaurus foot, and then you can just clean it up yourself and make it look nice and clean, which is what you'll need to do. So that's the building of the foot. Let's see if it stands. Probably is going to fall over just because it's kind of tilting that way, but if you kind of tilt it and work it out yourself, it'll be fine once it attaches to the body, because once both feet are standing next to each other, they'll provide equal stuff. Alright, so now we're just going to clean the space, which is important to do, so we'll clean the space. Alright, so now we're going to do the arm. This is going to be interesting, because I've never done this how I've done it. So what we're going to do is I want the arms to be able to move. So we're going to take this peg, and it's going to be attached to the back. And because this one's got more of a thick to it, we're going to use this one for, so this is going to be the left for the left. Alright, so that's good. So it's going to be going just like that. So before we do that, we're going to need to drill a hole right through there. And what I use is my X-Acto knife. And I press a little bit of pressure on the little dot I've made. And I kind of just twist it. You don't need to go too hard. You don't want to accidentally hurt yourself. And then you want to take your pin and slide it right in like that. Okay. And then we're going to glue that right down like that. Okay. It will be okay. And then we're going to, kind of like we did with the feet, we're going to push this inside and that will create the hand. But, let's see, how do I want to do this? I think, how do I want to go about attaching this? Because do I want to do it the way we did the feet and kind of do it like this? Or attach it together first and then kind of work this in there. I think putting this together first here and then working here will work out pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the hot glue and we're going to put it down right here. Then you want to take your piece and kind of set it down, line it up, just like so, just like that, and that should hold it together. Alright, and then at this point you can hold it here and then spread the fingers out. So kind of spread these out like that. And then we're going to attach this here somehow, some way. So let's see how I feel like doing this. Sure, let's see. This is going to be kind of tricky. Let's see how well this works. We're going to pour some hot glue right there. We're going to take our finger and we're going to slap it down right like that, which will create on that side. And then we just do the same thing on the other side, where we put some hot glue down and we'll slap the same attachment right to this side like that, and that will create a little hand. Yeah, look at that. That looks pretty good. And then all we need to do is fill it up, and yeah, that turned out really nice, I think. Yeah, it's a little off here, but that's okay. That's a little trim can't fix. Yeah, well, that was pretty quick, wasn't it? hands took no time at all. So there's two ways you can fill this in. You could just use your hot glue and fill this in like that, and then just smooth it out. Or you can take the piece of paper and do what I was doing, kind of fill this in this way, which I'm actually going to attempt to do it this way instead. So I'm going to trim a little cardboard off, and let's see how well this works out. For the bottom, I might just use the hot glue and fill it in. So let's see. I always end up getting this positioned the wrong way. So I'm going to line it up there, push it down a little bit, do a little line here. I do want it to come all the way over, so because I want it to loop around. We'll see how well it works out. Yep, it's getting summertime, alright. It's getting warmer. I like winter. I don't mind summer, but it just makes me all sweaty, and I don't like being hot. That's my thing. I don't like being hot. Okay, so that fits pretty well, and then we'll just end up curving that right over. Okay, so now we'll just apply the hot glue on the inside, just like that. Then we're going to take this really quick, and we're going to push that down, just like so. Okay, that's working out pretty good. Then we're going to curve it. Do I want to curve it all the way? Let's see. And then they could go flat. Okay, this could work. Yes, this could work nicely. Needs definitely a trim up, like right here. Now the reason why I didn't go with the hot glue is because I've actually tried that before with some stuff, and it doesn't look all that great. So I kind of just was like, I'll just do this way, which makes it a little more work, but hopefully the results still turn out pretty good. So you're just going to need to fiddle around with this. Let's see. Let's have it just go down to here. I'll just use some hot glue to fill the inside up. That's fine. That's fine with me. Okay. Yes, that works. Alright. So now we're just going to pour some hot glue. Just like that. Push it down. And there we go. Alright. So now I showed you how to do the hand and the foot. And yeah, in part 3, we'll put the body together, because this is going to take, just getting the hands and everything together is going to take a while. So now that you got the hands together, we'll clean the space and we'll get the last bit ready to go, and then we'll be done. Alright, here we are at the last part we're going to do for this is we're going to attach, we're going to get the head fitted here. Alright, so at this point you should have both the arms done and both the legs finished, unless you want to do them, one at a time with me. And those ones, again, if you have really tiny hands, it works a lot better. If you have bigger hands, I'm sorry. Just make it bigger. So yes, you will need the pegs. You will need the pegs here. All right. So at this point, you're gonna want to take. Well, we'll do the left side together, and then you can do the right side by yourself. So here you're gonna need your scissors. All right. I'm gonna use my big scissors, and you want to cut right along this bottom line here. All right. So just line it up with me and cut it. I'm actually going to use my smaller scissors because this is really tiny to hold. And man, these little scissors come in handy a lot with little projects that require smaller scissors. It's not as much as a pain as working with making copies. Those are, my hands are so red at the end of working on those. Alright, so at this point, I didn't draw the line where I wanted the dot to go in, which sucks, but we're going to do right there. Yeah, that's a good spot. So now I'm going to push in. Let me just actually see, because I want to make sure there's enough like hiddenness to this. Yeah, hiddenness. There's the word of the day. Hiddenness. So I'm just gonna drill a hole here. Okay. So, and since I didn't put a hole here, I'm gonna just put it over here and put a little dot so I have the holes in exactly the same spot. There we go. So now I can poke through this and have the hole in the same exact location. Alright, now at this point, you're going to want to cut out the top of this guy's mouth to right there. And then you're going to want to cut like this carefully. Trying to curve it here. Curve with the gum line that was made. Just like that. And at this point, I remember. Take your red marker. And you want to color the gums. And you can color whatever you want. There's one thing I did forget, which can be done after you get everything put together. Is once you have everything put together like this and cleaned up and smoothed out, you're going to want to take your Elmer's glue and cover all of it in Elmer's glue. So you're going to want to take this and cover the whole thing in it, alright? So before you do anything else, you can put it on at this step when they're like this, but you can also put them on after you're completely done. Alright? So make sure you do that. And that's something I should have done before I put the red on. So, but that's okay. It should be fine. It's nothing like a big deal. I haven't ruined anything. But now at this point, we're going to take the top half, because we're going to glue that on first. And so, now here's another important thing. You don't want to put the hot glue right here, because this is where the teeth are going to go. And we're going to slip the teeth in like this, like slide them in there, kind of like dentures. So you want to leave enough room there. So take your hot glue and pour it like this on the top, like this. Alright? And you can put down a little bit on the front of the mouth. And then you want to line it up perfectly, like so, and get that nice and attached. Oh yeah, that's really good. And now we're going to take our peg and we're going to slip it in to here. So at this point, you want to put a little hot glue down right on the peg. Alright. Then you want to take your bottom jaw and make sure it's closed and lined up perfectly with the top jaw. Alright. And then you want to, down here where you have the peg, flatten it out. You're going to want to push in and kind of just work with it. And it is kind of awkward at first, but if you work on it a little bit, you will get the top and the bottom to line up pretty darn nice. Alright, so just fiddle around with it a little bit. Alright, so there you go, and then the jaw will open like that. Then you can close it. Yeah, it's a little wobbly because I haven't strung it up back here. So at this point, you can string it up so it's nice and tight. And you can definitely see there's a lot of extra bit here. So you're going to need to cut those. You can use some bigger scissors or small ones. And when you do cut, hold it down when you cut it so it doesn't go flying off somewhere. Alright? And also you want to make sure that you kind of fiddle around with this a little bit back here to make it not as tight. So just fiddle around with that so everything works. Alright? And then we'll just end up cutting these little cables here. Can I show you how I'm going to do it? Alright. Then you can push the extra bit down. I'm going to cut the top a little bit too. And that's kind of what the back should look like. And that's how the front looks like. Now this bit right here will be trimmed a little bit, but for the most part it looks pretty darn good. And they always look kind of weird about the teeth. And then we'll kind of clean up the neck here, and yeah. So that has been part 2 of how to make a homemade Dilophosaur. And so just at the end of this video you should have the feet done and both the hands done. So that's the end of this part, and we'll move on to attaching attaching in part 3. We're going to work on attaching the top here to the dinosaur here to give it its depth, and then we'll hook all the parts together and almost glue the whole thing again, and then we just paint it and we'll be done. Pretty cool, right? Alright, hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye everybody.